Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Thank you all for being here today. Um, couldn't get here yesterday or the day before. What I've decided to do is to take some stuff off my plate and move it to somebody else because it's important that I'm able to show up here on this channel and to give you guys the message, uplift you, motivate you, because we're in a time where there's a lot of craziness going on. And it's important that we take care of ourselves. No matter what's going on, what's happening in the world today, we have to focus on our self care. And I want to motivate other people here who come to watch and to visit this channel that if I can go through this without any support system, because I've been through hell in a handbasket, people just don't know. But I don't give up because I look to God as my source and I keep doing what I can do on my part. And I tell you, honestly, as I do that and I bite, chew, and crawl through this toxicity and negativity that I do not want in my life, as I do that, and God sees me do that, He's behind the scenes taking a step, two, three steps to help me as I move forward. Those who are tired of the toxicity, the drama, the negativity, the on and on, riding on the wheel of destruction, and you want to get off that ride, then you stopped at the right channel because I'm going to talk. I'm not a therapist or a social worker or have any certification in that category. I'm someone who's gone through hell in a handbasket, and I talk about it and I share my personal experiences without giving too much details like names, places, etc. I talk about those experiences to help other people who may currently be going through what I've already went through. And I talk about ways how I got through it. And one of the ways I did is with God through prayer, meditation, educating myself through certain things that I wasn't aware of that I needed knowledge on because knowledge is power, people. Like, I'll give you an example of what I mean. For example, when I was going through my trigger moments of grief due to loss of 10 people out of my life, including my mother, my dog, etc., my best friend, and things, and it was death after death. And what I did, I didn't know anything about grief triggers, and it's real and it does exist. So, one thing about being on the internet, using Google and Bing is a source of information, you know, that you can learn about things. Like, I didn't know about trigger moments of grief, that it can happen at any given time. You could be out shopping, you could be in a store, you could be on your way to work, and all of a sudden you're fine. And then you have that trigger moment of grief because a song comes on the radio, or you see a picture or something that reminds you of your passed over loved one. And it can overtake you. So learning what to do and how it happens gives you power over the situation because then you learn what you need to do to keep moving forward. It's important to uplift people, and help people because we all are going through something, but we don't have to be alone as we go through it. And I talk about ways how I get through it. So the topic of discussion today, guys, first of all, I hope you all are doing well and that you're doing good and you're having a great weekend and you're taking care of yourself and enjoying yourself. The topic of discussion today is walking away from the drama to heal toxicity and to have peace. That is my goal. And I hope that's your goal as well because it's too much toxicity and drama and negativity. And sometimes we invite that in and ride on that wheel. And I talk about how I got off that ride as I move forward to take care of myself. Um, One of the things that I want to share with you guys, I love music because music is a healing force. I can be in a negative mood or whatever, and then I put on some music and it helps to change my mood for the better and help me see things from a different perspective. Music is a healing force. Um, let's talk about what happens when you decide to walk away from toxicity and individuals who are toxic, and you decide and make a decision to get off that ride, and you actually get off that ride. Here's I'm going to share with you through music what my experience was. Listen to the song, guys, for a minute. I'm just going to play a little bit of it for those who know what this is. Keep listening, guys. I'm just an average fan with an average life. I work from 9 to 5. Hey, hell, I pay the price. All I want is to be left alone in my average home. But why do I always feel like I'm in the twilight zone? And I always feel like somebody's watching me. And I need no privacy. Okay, for those who know that song, I always feel like somebody's watching me. And I played that as a metaphor to say that when I made a conscious decision and stuck to it, that I refused to accept or ride the wheel of toxicity, and I got off that ride, and I was determined to have peace instead of being in pieces, then the people who saw that I cut off, block, and delete because I tried to negotiate and sit with people and say, hey, I have to set some boundaries here because I need to heal. I need to self care. And when people started to disrespect the boundaries that I put into place, I may have had another conversation. And then after that, cut off, block, and delete. So what happened? People start to get mad when you change up on them for the better, you know? And so sometimes they go to gang stalking, following you, trying to find out what you're up to, what you're doing, gang stalking, looking, lurking. Let me tell you something about those things. That's against the law. And if a person has more than enough information to prove that's what you're doing, you're in a lot of trouble for that. Because if someone decides that they don't want to be bothered with you, and they are not being bothered with you because you are establishing boundaries because you need to heal and take care of yourself, and they still want to step and tread on that, then they are being intrusive in your life. That's against the law. To stalk somebody, to see what they doing, to try to find out what they doing, who they dating, where they working, what they got going on. Instead of doing that, go and invest in yourself. Heal these things, because toxicity upon toxicity is going to bring negativity to that person's front door. When someone decides that they don't want to ride this wheel of toxicity, you have to let them go. You can't try to put them in a chokehold and hold them in a place where they do not want to be or belong just because you feel like they should be there. That's toxic. And that's where I was for a while. And that's why I removed myself from the place of toxicity and put myself in a different environment, because I refuse to ride that wheel anymore. And I refuse to open the door to toxicity. And just because somebody is related to me, just because we grew up together, just because we used to know each other when, why, or where, or whatever. When I decided that it was time for me to heal, then that means it's time to establish boundaries. And when people disrespect the boundaries, they're disrespecting your right to heal, to take care of yourself. We have a right to take care of ourselves. It doesn't matter what they got going on or what they feel. We all have a right. If we make that conscious decision to take care of ourselves and to heal, we have a right to do that. And no one can tell us that we don't. And setting boundaries is to let people know, hey, I'm over here healing, taking care of myself. So I need to set these boundaries. And how dare they think they have a right to jump over those boundaries. You're going to do what I tell you. And what I do is cut off, block, and delete. It's important to cut off, block, and delete to have peace instead of being into pieces. It is important. I like to use songs because it's a metaphor and it just helps. Music helps. It heals the soul. Um, Knowing certain things and what's going on behind the scenes gives you power. I love the internet because it's a tool, especially using Google and Bing.com, Bing.com, because it's a source of information, that you can find anything that's going on. Like I learned so much about grief and the trigger moments of grief and why it happened, etc. Because when you have that information, then you know how to tread carefully. You know what to do to take care of yourself. Knowledge is power, people. It gives you the power to take the bull by the horns and put your life in a direction that you need it to go in. And one way to do that is by establishing boundaries, setting boundaries, not letting people control your life, controlling your own life and not allowing people to control your life, taking the power back and putting it back into your hands instead of letting people manipulate your life, tell you that you can't go heal, you can't do this, etc. All those things shows toxicity, and it's time to get off that ride. Um, the other thing, I have an outline here so that I can talk about a few things here today. Um, there are individuals out there that like to work hard to accomplish their goals and to move forward in life. And that's a good thing when you want something in life and you go towards that, what you want in life and you go towards what you want, which is a good thing. And then again, there is people out there who don't want to do that. They don't want to put in the work. They want to take from you, take from others, I should say. Others who work hard to accomplish things. They don't want to do the hard work. It's too much for them. So there are slackers out there, takers, people who feel entitled to take from you because they don't think you should have it. No matter how hard you work for it, no matter what you put in to do the work, they don't feel you should have it. So they feel they're entitled to take. And those were the type of people in my past before I started to work on myself and to heal myself. Those are the type of individuals that I was attracting to my life. Not only that, having family members who felt entitled because we share the parents or we share DNA. I'm going to put it like that. We share DNA. So you're an adult, I'm an adult. So if I have a little bit more than you because I persevered and worked and did something to make that happen through my actions of moving forward and with the help of God, and because we share the same DNA, you think you're entitled to take from me. It doesn't work that way. Everybody is an adult here, and we all have to do what we need to do, the hard work, to put in the work and invest into that so that we can see the rewards of our hard work. But if you're not putting in the hard work and you're out there taking from others, then you're not manifesting anything good. And then they want to take from others simply because they do not want to put in the hard work to accomplish their goals. They rather take from others, cause drama, toxicity, and trying to drain you for everything that you have in life. And I kept attracting that, thinking that I can change and help people change for the better. But a person have to want to do the hard work, to want to take care of themselves. There are people out there who don't want to do that. They want to take others and drain them for everything they have. And this is why I established boundaries. And when boundaries were being disrespected and crossed, I cut off, blocked, and deleted. Tread carefully. Be cautious about who you give your energy and time to, because you could be giving your time to somebody who don't mean you well. And it's good to be able to see behind the mask, because sometimes people are wearing masks pretending to be something good and positive in your life when they're there for negative reasons. Um, Individuals are out there, some of them who are energy drainers. They just want to take from others. They don't want to see anything good. They show up to take and leave others dry. These people, what I say, are on demon time, big time, while I'm on God's time. And what I do is just keep moving, keep going. And when things feel like the wall is closing in or of toxicity or whatever, I cut off, block, and delete. I go into prayer, meditation with God, and then I transmute that energy to Him and say, God, this doesn't belong to me, because I'm over here healing, taking care of myself, lifting myself up, to take care, to self care, to meditate, to stay in a place of peace instead of pieces. And then this person or individuals are trying to be bullies in my life. And I go into deep prayer, meditation, and I transmute that energy to God, because it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the individuals trying to bring it to my life. And that's how I do that. And sometimes, as painful as it is, these could be people I've grown up with, people I've known all my life since I was 5, 6, and 7. But sometimes when you have to take care of yourself and you got to heal and you got to, take care of your physical and mental health, for me, it's important for me to cut off, block, and delete. Because if people, will respect that, then yeah, they can stay in your life and we can, have a relationship. But when they're determined behind the scenes to be on demon time, to do the wrong thing, and you're not doing the wrong thing, you're over here taking care of yourself, then it's time to transmute that energy and give it to God. And like I said, I don't have rehearsed prayers with God. I'm not religious. I have a close relationship with God, and I'm not out there hurting people or behind the scenes trying to do some underhanded stuff. I'm just being my authentic self. And I share my experiences here about how I get through things. And music helps me a lot, being in meditation, uplifting, taking care of myself, self-care, eating healthier, working out at the gym, going for walks in nature, and just filling myself with positive things, watching videos of on how to uplift yourself and take care of yourself, and things that are going to help me grow and evolve and not bring toxicity and negativity to my life. I always talk about in many of my videos that life is people and situations come into our life for a reason, season, or a lifetime, or a lesson. And I emphasize lessons because a lot of these things are lessons that many of us need to learn, because sometimes toxicity comes in, and we need to get rid of it so that we can grow, heal, and evolve. And sometimes, people don't want to let us go. But if you need to heal and grow and evolve, people need to respect that. And if they can't, in my case, I cut off, block, and delete. It doesn't matter how long I knew them. It doesn't matter what they are in my life, because my healing for physical and mental health is everything. God is everything and the source to me. And I won't let anything come or interfere into that. And I continue to bite through, crawl through, persevere through. And I give the rest to God, and He does it. And I see evidence of it as I keep moving forward, and I'm human too, and I have days where the grief is painful and etc., but I give it to God and ask Him to help me, and He does help me. And you don't have to be religious for God to hear you and help you out, but just be your authentic self. All this fake stuff in the world today, fake love, fake marriages, fake friends, all that stuff, I let all that stuff go, because it's not being my authentic self. And I'd rather be myself, and go and heal things that have hurt me all my life. And I was always subservient to other people, always worrying about who thought what of me, you know, instead of trying to grow, heal, and evolve. When you love yourself, you don't settle for less and you don't accept anything that is not for your highest good. And let's talk about relationships for a minute, whether it's a friendship, a romantic one, or family or whatever. Any type of relationship that comes into your life is supposed to be for your highest good. It's supposed to enhance your life, not bring hell and negativity to it. And if it's bringing more of the other, the hell and the negativity, then I will have conversations because we need to sit and talk about boundaries, establishing them and what I will accept and what I will not accept. And if it continues to happen, then cut off, block, and delete because it's not for my highest good. And I would never settle for anything that is less than what I deserve. And what I'm talking about when I say that is toxicity. People bring in toxic situations. Have you ever been around people like, for example, I used to have someone in my life and we used to go to restaurants sometime. And this person was so toxic. And it wasn't because they didn't have the money. The waiter or waitress would bring the food and they would deliberately find something wrong for it so that they can get it for free. Do you guys know people like that? I can't stand that kind of stuff. Because if you don't want to pay for, then don't eat out, cook a meal at home. But there are specific people out there who's so toxic that they will put something in the food or do something so they can get it for free so they don't have to pay for it. It's not because they can't afford it, they just don't want to pay. They just want it for free. There are people out there like that. And they used to find me all the time until I transformed my life and changed it and started establishing boundaries and to go and heal from all of that. And the Lisa I am today is very different from the Lisa I used to be. I'm still generous, want to help people and things, but I'm not in a place where I'm going to allow people to use me, take advantage, and etc. so forth. I can now, with the help of God, see behind the mask that some people are wearing. Whereas I didn't before, I would make excuses for it and say, well, I can help him or her to become a better person through my actions. No, you can't. None of us can. If that person don't want to change for the better, there's nothing we can do but wish them farewell. It is important to heal, and it's a lot of negativity out there. People condemning people, telling them how they should live their life, trying to play God in their life, trying to tell them when to get up, when to sleep, when to do A, B, C, and D. And they don't get to do that. God is the source, you know, and just removing toxicity and toxic people and situations from my life has brought about some peace. And sometimes when people are behind the scenes trying to create toxicity in your life, and when I say that, let's say you had somebody that was in your life who was full of toxicity, right? And you decided you need to get away from that and you need to heal. And you set boundaries and they disrespected the boundaries. You reminded them again and then they disrespected the boundaries once again and you cut off, block, and delete. You nowhere near this person. Perhaps this person has been out of your life for quite some time. However, that person is so bitter behind you letting them go, and you had the right to let them go because they were toxic and bringing toxic situations into your life, right? And so you're over here far away from these individuals. But yet, for some reason, they're doing toxic things behind the scenes, right? And they're trying to drag your name into it. You don't know what's going on. You have disconnected from them long time ago. You have nothing to do with these individuals. But that's the sign of not just toxic individuals, but the sign of narcissists. You're over here healing from things that scarred you and made you feel broken, and you're healing yourself, taking care of your physical and mental health, and they're still trying to drag your name into something that you have nothing to do with, you don't know about, and you have nothing going on with them. Just trying to do the worst and the most. And that is the time I spend in meditation and transmuting all of that and giving it to God And when God looks into it and see that you're over here healing, minding your business, sitting over here, not dealing with this, then he's going to come through. I promise you, because time and time again, as I do that, he's been coming through. Because my peace of mind is everything. And I do not go back to toxicity. To me, it's like a dog that vomits and go back to look it up. I won't go back to anything that I shut the door. When I first started to heal and do therapy and started, when my therapist told me to set boundaries and I started to do that, I was, hesitant at first, a little nervous because, I'm going to lose people in my life. But the people I lost, I never had them in the first place. They were never there for good intentions in the first place. And I needed to open my eyes and see that. So the first step was therapy. And as I continued to do therapy and set these boundaries, I started to see that these people wasn't respecting them. They had to go cut off, block, and delete, And I was afraid of that because, as you do the subtraction, then you don't really have people in your life. But I'd rather be in a place of healing and peace instead of being with a whole bunch of people and drama filled and be filled with toxicity. So I choose to change for the better and to build myself up because that's important to me. And as I do that, I let go of the past and bitterness and pain and all of that. I transmute that and give it to God. And then never people allow yourself to be in a place of bitterness because of the things you've gone through. Remember, life is lessons. And as we learn them, we don't have to repeat them. But if you ride that wheel of toxicity, you're going to keep repeating lessons. And each lesson that comes back, it'll be a different situation, a person, but the lesson will be worse because you didn't learn it. So please try to learn these lessons sooner than later because I learned them later. But now, I'm at a place where I keep, growing, healing myself. And it's important. Find ways to heal yourself. Music is one way. Do things that bring good to your life. Volunteer at your favorite charity. Do things that uplift your spirit. All these things take care of your mental and physical health. The more toxicity that you can remove from your life, the more you can be at peace. It's better to be at peace than in pieces. So, guys, that's the message today. I'm sharing with others. And sometimes people don't want to leave your life. They just want to keep doing things behind the scenes. Give that to God. Ask God for divine intervention. Before I leave today, I want to talk about not only that, but, I had some really good friends in my life. One of my best friends who passed away, and a family member who passed away. I think one of my aunts who passed away when my son was about 16. And we were close, and she told me about, she was very ill and she didn't tell me right away. And I was disappointed about it. And she said, even though I'm not here in the natural and I'll be gone, I'll be with you always, no matter what. And I find that to be the case. I know people may not believe in that, but I do. Like my mother, my grandparents, my ancestors, they are there to help me. And as I talk to God and everything, and as I put forth the effort, because perseverance is the key factor, and I'm noticing as I do that, things get better in my life. But if I sit and wait for something to get done, it doesn't happen. Putting forth the effort and not giving up and staying in prayer and meditation and, things of that has helped tremendously, and I still have my days of grief and things, but I move forward and continue to take care of myself and I start to see the results. So that is something to think about, guys. When you're serious about you don't want the drama and toxicity, one of the other things before I leave, I want to encourage you. Sometimes when you cut people off or situations that are toxic, they don't want to leave. They don't want to go. So, you may hear lies about yourself, gossip, this and that. Tune it out. Silence is power. You ignore it. unless it's something that's going to affect your life and you have to address it. That's different. But what people say, you can't stop people from telling lies and saying things. And God will reveal and expose that these things for what they are, because what's in the dark will eventually come to light, and it'll be seen by everyone, exposed, and then it will be rendered powerless. So that's the message today, guys. Share these videos with other people, because people are out there, going through things, and they don't know, they may not have a support system. They could be in despair. They don't know where to turn. So they can always come to this channel, be uplifted, hear my personal experiences and how I'm getting through these things, you know, of, these things in life that we go through. So, guys, have a great weekend. Thank you for being here. Subscribe to the channel, because you'll always get a notification to as to when I'll be on. I will be back on Monday. I can't give a time. You guys enjoy this weather. It's not too hot today. And take care of yourselves and share with others and pay it forward. And that's how we win in life. This is Lisa, always encouraging you, shedding love and light. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye for now.